As war rages between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres has invoked a rare article, also known as the most powerful tool at UN service. It is for the first time in several decades that Article 99 has been invoked as the UN chief called on member states to avert a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. Antonio Guterres directly warned Security Council member states that the humanitarian system in Gaza may collapse and recovery may never be possible. Guterres told the Council in his letter that the war may aggravate existing threats to international peace and security.
בג'באליה, סג'אעיה ומרחב ח'אן יונס פרצנו את קווי ההגנה. המחבלים עכשיו יוצאים מתת הקרקע ונלחמים נגד כוחותינו, וכוחותינו בקרבות, פנים אל פנים, מנצחים עם ידם על העליונה.
Given the scale of the loss of human life in Gaza and in Israel in such a short amount of time, the Secretary General has today delivered a letter to the President of the Security Council invoking Article 99 of the Charter of the United Nations. This is the first time that Antonio Guterres has done this since he became Secretary General in 2017. Article 99 states, and I quote, that the Secretary General may bring to the attention of the Security Council any matter in his opinion that may threaten the maintenance of international peace and security. In the letter, which has been shared with you, the Secretary General urges the members of the Security Council to press to avert a humanitarian catastrophe, and he appeals for a humanitarian ceasefire to be declared.
Let's go to Pradeep on this. Pradeep, UN chief uses rare power to warn Security Council of impending humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. Israel has, of course, condemned this and has demanded resignation of Guterres.
Yes, you rightly said that Israel has condemned this kind of Charter 99 being invoked by the United Nations Secretary General, saying that there is a humanitarian catastrophe and there is a need for humanitarian ceasefire. Israel has said that this shows a bias of the United Nations towards Israel. Instead of targeting Hamas for being responsible of what really happened on October 7, they are trying to target Israel and saying that there is a humanitarian catastrophe because they are only reacting to situation what really happened at that point of time in which 1,600 people lost their lives and many other were taken as hostage. Had all the hostages been released, the war would have ended. But as they have not released any of the hostage, only 50 of them were released. Still 190 of them are in their captivity. So they are the ones who are responsible for aggravating the situation on the ground. But so far as United Nations Secretary General is concerned, he has invoked Charter 99, asking all the United Nations Security Council members to use their influence so that the situation does not escalate and aggravate further, and they want that there should be humanitarian ceasefire. Immediately the guns should fall silent because as per him, there had been loss of life. More than 16,000 people have already lost their life, and there is a trauma that people are suffering from. So preventing situation to aggravate further, there's a need for truce in this area. That's where he has already written a letter to the 15 Security Council members in this regard, asking them to use their influence in this regard. And now it is to be seen that whether he's going to address the United Nations Security Council. That's what actually has been said by the spokesperson of the United Nations, that in coming week he is going to address the Security Council member also. It's to be seen how far the Security Council member will really succeed in this. But so far as Israel is concerned, because they feel if at this stage they are going for any kind of a ceasefire or truce, that's only going to embolden and encourage Hamas element, because that's only going to provide them more time to gather all their strength so that they can target Israel in near future. Though they do not want anything like that, because they had wanted all the people who had been held hostage and they are in their captivity should be released at earliest.
Pradeep,
but only
Israel,
50
of course,
people were
calling
released
this move
after that
a new moral law and demanding resignation of Guterres. In fact, stay on with us, Pradeep. We have more international updates. In fact, the United States has filed war crime charges against 4 members of Russian military. This is the first time that US has filed charges under its war crimes law. The accused Russians, including 2 senior officers, are charged for abducting and torturing an American living in Ukraine. According to US, he was held for around 10 days in April last year and was allegedly subjected to mock executions and beatings. The 4 soldiers remain at large, and the US has no extradition treaty with Russia, which makes the charges only symbolic. This comes at a time when Biden administration is struggling to pass an aid package for Ukraine.
In an indictment returned yesterday in the Eastern District of Virginia, we have charged 4 Russia-affiliated military personnel with war crimes against an American citizen living in Ukraine. The charges include conspiracy to commit war crimes, including war crimes outlawed by the international community after World War II, unlawful confinement, torture, and inhuman treatment. Like all defendants in the U.S. criminal justice system, the defendants in this case are entitled to due process of law and are presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Let's go back to Pradeep on this. Pradeep, for the first time, the United States has filed war crime charges against Russian troops in the victimization of an American. A symbolic move, clearly.
Yes, you're absolutely right. This is a symbolic move because none of these people are in the custody. 2 of them are the senior officers, and they have charged them of the war crime because they had abducted American nationals as per the United States of America. The issue goes back to 2022 when the Russian troops, they entered inside the Ukraine. That was the time they had abducted this person as per United States of America. The American was tortured. He was stripped naked, and he was tortured for about 10 days. Finally, he was released. And he is a person who is married to a Ukrainian lady and is putting up in Ukraine for the last several years. But as per Russians, he was involved in kind of a spying and was involved in an anti-Russian activity. That's one of the reasons he was picked up. This is not first time when this war crime has been there against the Russian. We have seen that how International Criminal Court also had filed a war crime against Vladimir Putin, who is the president of Russia. And they wanted that this man need to be arrested for the war crimes he has committed by targeting many of the civilians in Ukraine. And there was an unprovoked attack from their side when many of the Ukrainians were targeted. Many of the buildings were demolished by the missile attack that were launched from their side. But the Russians have been maintaining neither they believe in what actually the Americans are saying and nor they agree to what International Criminal Court is saying. So they do not believe in that. So they will continue with what actually they are doing because as per Russians, they are only trying to ensure peace and stability in the region. And it was a provocation only from the Ukrainian side and that too at behest of Americans. Everybody knows that Americans do not have a good relationship since the Cold War era when it was the United States Soviet Socialist Republic, USSR. Since then, we know that this kind of a hot and cold relationship between
Pradeep,
the two countries exists.
We'll leave it at that, but thank you for bringing all those details. The U.S. filing war crime charges against Russian troops for victimization of its citizens.